we back? I think we're working again. My OBS crashed, which is interesting. Never had that happen before. It's kind of interesting. I think we're back. Maybe it's taken a long time to connect to things, but... Okay, cool. That was really odd. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, OBS just crashed. I don't think we missed anything, so... Okay, now dealing with this error. So this is a pretty poor error that it's giving us. It looks like it's in Gatsby node though. So I imagine that it's... here we go. Gatsby node, error while running create pages lifecycle. So we might just need to, if we're getting rid of the JavaScript from matter stuff, then this actually ends up going away. Let's make that assumption. See if that clears it out. Okay, while that's running, we can finish dealing with some of this. We will say that we're renaming JS files to temp ignore. Wow, okay, new themes, there we go. Okay. I think we're getting there. Oh. As I literally just hit commit on that. We don't actually need that anymore. I don't know if it'll let us run an empty query. We do still want to keep the structure here because we are going to probably do some other markdown MDX stuff on this. So I don't want to just completely remove this. Let's go ahead and get this committed. close that. That was kind of weird, looking at yourself, you know. Alright, looks like we're still getting that error. I think most of our, generating those JavaScript images from Airtable, that's the bulk of our pain right now. So we're getting an error from Airtable. What version are we on? Oh, we're still on 12. Ah, okay. So there is actually a new version of the Airtable plugin that I had to make to deal with some of the GraphQL type issues. And I just installed the latest. I forgot to install the alpha version that I created. There we go. And that hopefully is part of the documentation here. Yep. So we need that alpha version for it to work. Alright, what else do we have to... Okay, looks like we're pretty much caught up. Okay, so it looks like we can't have an empty query. So I think for now what we do is, I still want this whole structure here. So I'm just going to comment this out because I'm going to come back to it. Okay, hopefully that'll run, and then we will have a working site. A layout. A layout in... I guess you're going to have to give me more context. So there is... The concept of a layout in Gatsby is for the most part done with a wrapper component through Gatsby browser or Gatsby SSR. And Theme UI uses both of those life cycles, and it is kind of painful to have multiple plugins using that. So my expectation is that we won't actually use either of those life cycles, either in the theme or in our personal site. So the layout that we end up having is everything just uses from the theme it uses a package that does the layouts. It's just uses some of the more primitive components that we made, and then this layout does all the navigation and such, and the other ones just reference it like a component library. So each page technically references this navigation. So within our templates, well, we can see the reference to that package. If we pull up the homepage, it should have referenced that package. So I just have a layout component on the homepage, and that refers to this nav package that we created. Does that answer your question, Ryan? It's the term layout in Gatsby is sort of a loaded term, since there's some history behind how previous versions dealt with it. hence the request for clarification. Okay, looks like we have something. There we go. Okay, so it's effectively unstyled at this point. And we should be able to click over to this, and we've got all of our recipes. So this is a completely separate theme. And those are starting to come in pretty good. I believe I have updated I've updated some of them. I've got a few more that I need to switch to doing bullet points, markdown bullet points. So it looks like right now our articles are not coming in. But let's convert over this professional engagements first, and then we'll deal with articles not coming through. So there's a whole bunch of them here. Let's just pick a more involved one. So I think we'll need an iframe package to deal with that, so we're gonna maybe skip that one for right now, but this one has a picture, so maybe that will be a good one to do. So these are expected to be in a folder called engagements. And it doesn't matter what we name our MDX files. So this name is mostly for me to differentiate between which files which. Oh, didn't want to close that one. So if anybody doesn't know, Ryan was doing some design in Figma the other day, and he dropped an image. Sounds like he's going to start working on his own Gatsby site. Have you gotten anywhere on that, Ryan? Nice. Basic starter running locally. A step's a step, right? For the most part, I feel like Gatsby is pretty good at kind of getting you up and going. But I know people tend to have issues with the images, which I can understand. So some of this stuff I'm not quite sure how MDX actually deals with it, so we're going to have to come back. Or not come back, but we're going to have to look that up actually. It's interesting that it's not formatting it very nicely. So we're going to have to restart this because I think we'll get a new template. Hopefully that feature is working. Well, that's running. Let's look up MDX. That SEO. MDX Markdown. So what's nice about MDX is that you can actually use components within Markdown. But we're not doing any of that, so we just want I imagine it's probably just like the base HTML. So it's probably going to be that. I think we'll just do that as a separate link. I think you can just do HTML directly in it. We might end up needing a plugin to do this though. So we will need some assets. Pull this over. We can just scrape out some of this. I don't actually need that in there. Okay. I don't know why, there we go. That looks a lot better. Okay, it just wasn't formatting it for me. Okay, so we need a tag there. I imagine that's probably what that error is. So if we take out this, will it run? Yes. So it's something with our image tag. We'll have to look up how to do that. Images. So we need to use a remark plugin as part of our options. So I think I'm just going to copy this whole thing. And update our config with this. Where are we? Plugin MDX. Here we go. So my whole config file uses backticks, and I kind of tend to prefer using the backticks. So just keeping everything consistent there. Let's go ahead and restart this just in case. Oh, I already noticed that we got an error right here. There we go. So what are you using to do your styling, Ryan? Did you end up going with Theme UI? Hopefully I didn't turn you off to it. Solid components, okay, nice. I know for a while there was styled components and emotion were sort of competing with each other, and from what I understand now, they are pretty much a feature parity. So the jump between styled components to theme UI, I would expect that it wouldn't be a very big jump for you. It's, from what I know, it's similar, except theme UI just has some more sugar to make things easier, in the fact that you don't need a component for literally everything, which is handy in some situations, I think. And especially in Gatsby, where I think it's pretty common to use Markdown or MDX. So for the most part, you're dealing with components anyways, so the switch from styled components to theme UI is probably not drastic by any means. Yep. The shiny object syndrome. If you do too many new things at once, you don't get anywhere. I can totally understand that. I was using on this site actually the typography JS and SAS, and it definitely felt like they were not intended to work together. I continually ran into issues, which was unfortunate. That's part of what prompted me to switch. Okay. So we're not getting a body. But I imagine typography JS probably works with styled components rather well. The issue that I was running into is the way Gatsby inlines their head styling. It would inline things differently in develop versus build, particularly with the CSS. Particularly with the CSS and SAS, and I hear sounds. Sorry. Okay, I think it was just an alarm going off. What was I saying? Yeah, it would inline them differently, so they would work together, but I feel like every handful of updates that would end up getting tweaked enough that my styling would change, and sometimes it would break it rather drastically, which was unfortunate. And it was just a matter of things were being ordered in a different order than I had originally intended or expected to see. Okay, let's see. Hopefully we can just deal with this last error, and that might end up being the stream for today. We've got most of it switched over. It's a bunch of cleanup and engagements. Our recipes are working. The articles don't seem to be appearing, so that would kind of be the last piece that we would need to fix. But let's go ahead and make, since we don't have 1,000 errors anymore, let's go ahead and make this smaller and see if we can grok what's going on here. So it seems that our engagement is not being set correctly. So let's just double check that we've got. So I've got engagements. Okay. A mapping here, so it's singular. Let's just double check our GraphQL queries to make sure that we actually are getting the nodes that we're expecting. 3. And that would be, I think it's coming out of 3MDX. So here we can look at the body. So when we were talking before, the difference between MDX and remark, for the most part, MDX ends up coming through as a function, and that gets translated into what you actually see on the page, whereas the remark would generally convert it into HTML, an HTML string. So you'd see all the HTML elements with all your text here instead of function calls. What will help us determine which is which? Maybe this. So most of our stuff doesn't have a child. Maybe excerpt, that's probably the smallest bit of text that we can look at. Okay. Our 404 page. Here. So we're getting an MDX node. We don't have a title currently. Can we just find a piece? Glob. Maybe glob will give us. So if we can get it just down to Mitchell. Nope. I can't honestly remember what the difference is between the glob and those were both added after. Okay. Not in. Well, let's just add a title to that. Okay, well, it's just 3 dashes. So in Markdown, there's generally an accepted formatting thing, I guess you'd call it, called front matter, and it's you can essentially give it like information up at the top, and then it gets converted into YAML. It gets pulled out and converted into YAML. And I believe most of I don't know if it's in the actual official Markdown spec, but most of the big Markdown processors actually respect that. Okay, so now we've got a title there, or we should. Okay, now it reordered on me. Let's see, title. Font matter, title. Copy and paste this. Equals this. Okay, so we should get one node. Okay. Now, why does that node not have a body? So it definitely looks like it has a body. And it's doing all the image processing that we're expecting. But it's saying that we don't have a body. So I wonder if we are getting an error in that, and it could potentially be related to this. Nope. Can I just comment this out? Does that actually work? Yeah, it does. Nice. Okay. Let's just leave that commented out for now, just to make sure that's not actually our issue. So, we are not getting our data pushed through. So let's just toss a console log in in that actual component and see if we can figure out what the issue is, why our data is not coming through. So that's on the home page. And that would be in the professional engagements. So it's expecting seems like it's expecting all the right stuff. So let's just go ahead and toss in a console log. Just make sure we are getting the data we expect in here. Interesting. So we're getting 2 nodes. One of which has what we want, one of which doesn't. Now, why would we... Why do we have 2 nodes? We might just need to restart. Because I don't see any other MDX node in here. Yeah, let's try restarting. That's real odd that we get 2 though. So we're doing an all file. Oh, it's probably picking up this JPEG. Interesting. Yeah. So we'll need to filter down somehow for that to only expect MDX. I don't know why this is shifted over. Oh. Still restarting the server. No, there we go. Okay. Oh, this just shifted over because of that. Okay. So that is an all. Can we just copy the query, I guess? We'll copy this whole query. Go ahead and make it pretty. Okay, so we are filtering relative directory. What else could we filter on? I guess extension, right? We could just look for MDX. I guess we don't necessarily care that it's a file. Although we're already expecting a file, so I'm kind of fine with the extension being something that we rely on for now. Eventually we'll want to make this data agnostic where we just care that it's MDX and we don't care where the MDX is coming from. As in the case of our recipe theme, that MDX is actually coming from Airtable. So it's not an actual file type, which is sort of interesting. So filters, extension should equal .mdx. There we go. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and copy that piece and we'll toss it in our node modules for right now, and we'll make a note to add this to the actual plugin. There we go. extension MDX. Let's put that in our notes wherever they went. There. Engagements should filter on only MDX files. Let's just dump this in. Sure. Okay. Oop. Come on. So we got that. Let's make sure our images are coming through. So it looks like we might have. That all looks fine, assuming these tags work. Hey, the picture's there. Clearly we have some oddities though. There was a bug in this that has, I believe, since been fixed. So we might just need to update this plugin. So let's go ahead and do a yarn add, or let's do a yarn upgrade interactive. Just make sure that we don't have anything else that's drastically out of date. Oh, that does not flow very well. I can't tell what I'm changing. Okay. Yeah, we have a couple things that are out of date. We'll just go ahead and update all those. We'll make sure we're working with the latest stuff. So I think once we get this professional engagements working, let's see. I can maybe take a quick stab at why the articles aren't showing up, and then at that point, I think we're probably going to call it a day. Now we've got the site pretty much moved over. Oh. Let's run that again. We'll have to convert all these over. Oh, not the node module stuff. We'll have to convert all of these over. I'll probably just do that off stream because that's not terribly interesting. As long as our link works, all the others are going to be rather similar. So, some of these utils can probably go away, especially if I'm not using any. Yeah, if I'm not going to be using JavaScript anymore and converting those auto markdown, that can go away. Then we just need the colors. Oh, it's still working, I guess. Interesting. Okay. Now we're getting an error again. Interesting. bet you my node modules tweak got erased. Yep. Okay. So we're definitely gonna have to update that plugin to deal with this. Excuse me. Forgot to grab water. Okay. Interesting. So there's something going on with that still. I think we have it working in our example. Let's give that a quick check. I mean, that looks right. Gatsby remark plugins. Yeah, I think that's okay. Well, we'll let this. These images are crazy. Okay, well, I guess while that is running, let's get a theme in here real quick. Theme.js. We'll just copy it from the example. Oh. Yes. So we need this to be, we need the shadow. Gatsby plugin theme UI. So I need that. That's not correct. So I need to, in here, make a folder called Gatsby theme, Gatsby plugin theme UI, and it's an index.js. Yeah, something's goofy with that image. We'll have to fix that. Let's just double check to make sure our... Okay. Well, that's working. So the articles is not working. For some reason, those images aren't coming through correctly, which is frustrating. Let's see if our other articles are actually even showing up in here. So we can go to the articles page. Yes, there's no articles. So for some reason, our articles aren't coming through at all. So that's another thing we'll have to deal with. And our recipes all seem to be correct. So we need to deal with articles not showing up. And for some reason, this picture thing is still not working, which is confusing to me because it is working on the other example site. Yeah, that's really interesting. Oh, you know what? I bet you if it's so what we need to use the actual like markdown file reference articles. So we need to do it like this. That is likely our issue. Because we're in Markdown land. So if we do this, we will call it the alt tag. And then I think we can also wrap this whole thing in another one to do our anchor link. There we go. That was it. Okay. Well, what time are we? We're coming up on 8 o'clock my time, so 9 o'clock Eastern. Let's just see if we can get this to work real quick, and then I think that's probably going to be good to call it a day for us. So, Gatsby plugin theme UI. We need to be shadowing. Let's just see what we did here and see if there was something else that we are overlooking. It needs to be an src Gatsby plugin theme UI index.js. We've got src Gatsby plugin theme UI index.js. Just double check that it's in our config. Gatsby plugin theme UI is in our config. Just make sure we don't need anything special for that. No. I did notice though that I do need a site URL. Gatsby theme recipes. That's interesting that my other one is out of date. So this is a different section. Gatsby theme recipes. Docs need a site URL. And we'll update this quick while we're looking at it. Okay, so theme UI, the plugin seems to be set up correctly. But we are not getting colors to come through. Let's rerun real quick to make sure we don't have anything like that going on. So some of these assets are just going to be moved over. I wonder why it's not working. I wish these images didn't take so long. But I guess that's me clearing the cache every time. Well, we might not actually get styles working. I think we have everything set up correctly. Unless we just do not have that installed, but I'm pretty sure we have it installed. Theme UI is there. Emotion Core, MDX. So it seems like I'll ever do. Oh, there we go. Yep, we just need to restart. Okay. We could probably use a little bit of styling still. But I think this probably has us mostly covered. I do want to update the config to add in another nav link, and then that might very well be all that we're going to fit in today. Plagiarize myself again. Copy, paste. Articles. So you can see we don't have any articles. So for some reason that's not coming through. It's probably going to be end up being an easy fix. So that might end up happening off stream. Otherwise, we have most of our stuff converted over. Definitely helped that we had sort of a jump start and the structure was similar, and it was mostly just wiring things up when we switched over. But as far as complete conversions go, I feel like it went reasonably smooth, so I can be happy with that. It's a good way to end a stream, I guess, and get us halfway through the week. Does anybody have any other questions? Otherwise, I think that's going to be the conclusion of our stream today. Yep. Have a good day, Ryan. Let's see if there's anybody else that's streaming that we can raid. It doesn't look like I've got anybody. I don't expect anybody else to be streaming at this time. Okay, well, we're going to cut things off then and have a good Wednesday. Later.